Unbreakable, the power of resilience in the face of betrayal. Welcome to this groundbreaking TED Talk where we're about to embark on a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about strength, leadership, and the human spirit. Today, we're diving deep into a story that will shake you to your core, inspire you beyond measure, and quite possibly change the way you view adversity forever. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Shacara Johnson, a woman whose life story reads like a masterclass in resilience. Shacara isn't just a survivor. She's a warrior who's turned her pain into purpose, her struggles into strength, and her betrayals into beacons of hope. Her impact on making the world a better place isn't just noteworthy. It's nothing short of revolutionary. Now, let me ask you a question that might make you squirm in your seat a little. Have you ever been betrayed? And I don't mean someone eating the last slice of pizza you were saving. I'm talking about the kind of betrayal that feels like a sucker punch to your soul, the kind that leaves you gasping for air and questioning everything you thought you knew. If you're nodding your head right now, or if your stomach just did a little flip, stick with me. Because what I'm about to share isn't just Shakara's story. It's a roadmap for anyone who's ever felt defeated by life's unexpected twists and turns. Imagine this. You are standing tall, proud of the life you built, the relationships you've nurtured, the career you poured your heart and soul into. You're a leader, respected and admired. People look up to you, depend on you. You've given your all, blood, sweat, tears, and then some. Now, picture this same scene, but with a twist so cruel it could be ripped from the pages of a psychological thriller. The very people you've lifted up, supported, and championed suddenly turn on you, not with a whimper, but with a roar. They don't just disagree with you. They launch an all-out assault on everything you stand for. This isn't some hypothetical scenario, folks. This is exactly what happened to Shacara Johnson. In the military, a place where bonds are supposedly forged in the fires of shared adversity, Shacara found herself facing a betrayal so profound it could have shattered a lesser spirit. Let's pause for a moment and really let that sink in. The people she had given her last to, the ones she had stood beside when no one else would, were now labeling her with words that couldn't have been further from the truth. Racist, sexist, homophobic, toxic, and perhaps most painfully, a bad leader. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Come on, surely it couldn't have been that bad. Oh, but it was. This wasn't just a case of hurt feelings or bruised egos. This was a calculated attack, a coup staged by those she had trusted most. The very foundation of her identity was under siege. I want you to take a moment and put yourself in Shakara's shoes. Feel the weight of those accusations, the sting of that betrayal, the ground crumbling beneath your feet as everything you thought you knew about yourself and your relationships is called into question. How would you react? Would you crumble under the weight of such betrayal? Would you let their words define you? Would you give up, throw in the towel, and admit defeat? For Shakara, this wasn't just a professional setback. It was a blow that struck at the very core of her being. The cut was so deep, so profound, that even the thought of suicide was spoken over her life. Let that sink in for a moment. The pain was so intense that ending it all seemed like a viable option. But here's where Shakara's story takes a turn that we all need to pay attention to. In that moment of darkness, when the world seemed determined to extinguish her light, she made a choice that defines not just her story, but offers a powerful lesson for all of us. She chose not to break. Now, I want to be crystal clear here. This isn't some fairy tale where she just decided to be happy and everything magically got better. This isn't about putting on a brave face and pretending everything's fine. It's not about toxic positivity or denying the pain. No, what Shakara did was far more powerful and far more real. She chose to stand in her truth. Think about that for a moment. Standing in your truth, not hiding from it, not sugarcoating it, but embracing it fully, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it hurts. This is where true strength begins. Shakara refused to let their lies define her. She understood on a profound level that true strength isn't about never being betrayed, it's about how you rise after betrayal. This is a lesson we all need to hear, especially in a world that often seems to value appearance over authenticity and easy answers over hard truths. Your strength, your real power, doesn't lie in perfection. It lies in your ability to be real, to endure, and to rise again and again. Now you might be thinking that's easier said than done. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It is easier said than done. But that's precisely why it's so powerful. Because when you do it, when you stand in your truth and refuse to be broken, you discover a resilience within yourself that nothing and no one can take away. Let's break this down further. What does it really mean to stand in your truth? It means acknowledging your pain without being defined by it. It means recognizing your flaws without letting them limit you. It means facing your fears head on, not because you're fearless, but because you understand that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's all God. It's action in the face of fear. Shakara's story teaches us that transparency, real, raw, unapologetic honesty is not a weakness. In fact, it's the cornerstone of true strength. When you're transparent, you take away the power of those who would use your secrets against you. You create a foundation so solid that no amount of external pressure can crumble it. But let's be real for a moment. This kind of strength, this level of resilience and transparency, it doesn't just happen overnight. It's not like you can order it on Amazon Prime and have it delivered to your doorstep the next day. No, this kind of strength is forged in the crucible of adversity. It's built through countless small decisions to face the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it hurts. Shakara's journey reminds us that every time we choose honesty over deception, every time we choose to face our challenges head on instead of running from them, we're building that strength. We're cultivating that resilience. Now, I want you to think about your own life for a moment. What truths are you avoiding? What challenges are you running from? What would it look like if you chose to stand in your truth, even if your voice shakes, even if you're standing alone? Because here's the thing, when you make that choice, when you embrace your truth and your resilience, you become unstoppable. Not because you'll never face obstacles, but because you know that no obstacle can define you or defeat you. This is the kind of leadership we desperately need in our world today. Leaders who are not afraid to be vulnerable, who understand that their strength comes not from projecting an image of perfection, but from embracing their humanity in all its messy, complicated glory. Shakara's story is a testament to this kind of leadership. Despite the betrayal she faced, despite the pain she endured, she didn't let it harden her heart or close her off from the world. Instead, she used it as fuel to become even more authentic, even more committed to standing in her truth. And here's the beautiful thing, when you lead from this place of authenticity and resilience, you create space for others to do the same. You give permission for those around you to embrace their own truths, to face their own challenges with courage. This is how we create real change, not through grand gestures or empty promises, but through the daily choice to be real, to be resilient, to stand in our truth no matter what. So, what does this mean for you? How can you apply these lessons in your own life? First, start by getting honest with yourself. What are the truths you've been avoiding? What are the challenges you've been running from? Write them down. Speak them out loud. The simple act of acknowledging them can be incredibly powerful. Second, commit to transparency. This doesn't mean sharing every detail of your life with everyone you meet. It means being honest about who you are, what you stand for, and what you're going through. It means dropping the mask and allowing yourself to be seen, really seen. Third, cultivate resilience. Remember, resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up every time you do. Start small. Face a fear you've been avoiding. Have that difficult conversation you've been putting off. Each time you do, you're building your resilience muscle. Fourth, surround yourself with truth tellers, people who will stand with you in your truth, who will support you, but also challenge you when necessary. These relationships are invaluable in your journey towards authentic strength. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, be gentle with yourself. This journey isn't easy. There will be days when standing in your truth feels impossible. There will be times when resilience seems out of reach. That's okay. Remember, strength isn't about being perfect. It's about continuing to show up, continuing to try, even when it's hard. Now, let me share with you another powerful story that illustrates these principles in action. This is the story of Maria, a young entrepreneur who faced a betrayal that nearly destroyed her business and her spirit. Maria had poured her heart and soul into building a tech startup. For 3 years, she worked tirelessly, often sleeping on the office couch, sacrificing her personal life for her dream. Her small team became like family, sharing late nights, celebrating small victories, and supporting each other through the tough times. Then, just as the company was on the brink of a major breakthrough, Maria discovered that her co founder and closest friend had been secretly negotiating to sell the company's technology to a competitor. Not only that, but he had been systematically undermining her to the board, painting her as unstable and incapable of leading the company. The betrayal was devastating. Maria felt like the ground had been ripped out from under her. Everything she had worked for, everything she believed in, seemed to crumble in an instant. She was faced with a choice: give up and walk away, or stand and fight. In that moment of crisis, Maria remembered Shakara's story. She realized that her strength didn't come from never being betrayed, but from how she chose to respond to that betrayal. So she made a decision. She would stand in her truth. Maria called an emergency board meeting with shaking hands but a steady voice. She laid out everything: the betrayal, the secret negotiations, and her own vision for the company's future. She didn't try to hide her pain or her anger. Instead, she channeled it into a passionate defense of her leadership and her vision. It wasn't easy. There were moments when she thought she might break, but with every word, she felt her strength growing. By the end of that meeting, not only had she secured her position, but she had also gained the unwavering support of her board and her team. In the months that followed, Maria led her company to unprecedented success. But more importantly, she became known as a leader of unshakable integrity. Her transparency in the face of betrayal became a cornerstone of her leadership style, inspiring loyalty and trust in her team and her investors. Maria's story, like Shakara's, reminds us that our greatest challenges can become our greatest strengths if we choose to face them with courage and authenticity. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought: your strength lies not in perfection, but in your ability to be real, to endure, and to rise again and again. No matter how deep the wounds, no matter how painful the betrayal, you will rise. And when you do, you'll know that nothing and no one can take away the resilience that is rightfully yours. Shacara Johnson's journey from betrayal to triumph isn't just inspiring, it's a roadmap for all of us who aspire to lead with authenticity and strength. It's a call to action for each and every one of us. So here's my challenge to you: stand in your truth, embrace your resilience, be transparently, unapologetically you. Because when you do, you don't just change your own life, you change the world around you. I want you to leave here today with a commitment to yourself, to your truth, to your strength. I want you to promise yourself that the next time you face a challenge, instead of running from it, you'll stand tall. Instead of hiding your pain, you'll acknowledge it. Instead of letting others define you, you'll define yourself. Remember, true strength isn't about never being knocked down. It's about how you rise, how you stand, and how you keep moving forward, even when the path ahead seems impossible. You have that strength within you. It's time to let it shine. It's time to be unbreakable. Thank you.